Hello, my name is Gurbir. Today I will talk about racism in healthcare among workers and what we can do about it. What is racism? Dr. Kamara Jones explains that racism is a system. It gives unfair advantages to some people, it gives unfair disadvantages to others, and it harms everyone in society. Racism has three levels. First level is institutional racism. This level is about policies, rules, and systems that does not need one person to be racist. It is built into the way organizations work. For example, in healthcare, if leadership jobs mostly go to non racialized staff, while racialized workers stay in entry level roles, that is institutional racism. If hiring managers prefer Canadian experience and ignore qualified international graduates, that is also institutional racism. It is about unfair systems that block opportunities for some groups. Second level is personally mediated racism. This level happens between people. It is prejudice and discrimination in daily life. For example, a coworker makes jokes about someone's accent or skin color. A nurse assumes a racialized colleague is less skilled. A worker's ideas are ignored, but when repeated by someone else, suddenly they are valued. These actions can be obvious, like insults, or subtle, like giving limited chances to prove skills. Third level is internalized racism. This level happens inside a person. It's when people start believing the negative messages that society tells them about their own group. For example, a worker of color thinks they are not smart enough for leadership, so they don't apply for promotions. A staff member feels they must change their hair, their name, or the way they speak to be accepted at work. Internalized racism is harmful because it limits people's confidence and opportunities. How do we know when racism is happening? I know racism is happening when I see or hear jokes or stereotypes about race or culture. A coworker's ideas ignored until repeated by someone else. Workers of color checked more harshly for mistakes. Partners where non-racialized staff move up, while racialized staff stay in lower roles. What role does privilege play? Privilege means unearned advantages in healthcare. It might look like your voice is always respected. No one questions your skills because of your skin color or accent. Privilege is often invisible to those who have it. That makes racism harder to see. It allows unfair systems to continue. What can we do as administrative healthcare professionals? Treat all coworkers with dignity and respect. Speak up when we hear racist comments. Support fair hiring, training, and promotions. Help create workplaces that are inclusive and safe for everyone. At the end, I will say that racism has no place in healthcare, not in a patient care, and not among staff. When we challenge racism and use privilege to support fairness, we build stronger teams and better healthcare for all. Thank you for listening. Remember, anti-racism begins with how we treat each other at work.